Hi, this is Lana Hayasat, and this tutorial is on how to create your Google Forms. First of all, before you start collaborating online, you need to create a Gmail account. So if you don't have one, you need to create one. You need to second step is to check whether the language preference is set to English. If it's not, then you need to go to your Google Apps, to your account preferences, tools, and then choose English. Then you click on the drive and you access all of your Google documents, forms, slides, and anything else you need to collaborate on. Today we're going to focus on creating a Google form and how to add collaborators. This is going to be a replication of the survey tool that you need to create for Assessment 3. So in order to get started, we're going to move out of this presentation and go to Google. Once you go to your Google, you have these apps and you go to your drive. I'm already in my drive. And the first step will be to create a new folder. So new folder, and I'm going to give it a title of LSS 1123, and it's tasks 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to create that. Once you have it created, you can just right-click and you can share it with your team members. You add their email addresses, preferably Gmails, and then make sure that they can organize, add, and edit. Add me as well. Within that folder, you click on it. We're going to create a Google form. This is where you create a Google document, but we're going to do a form today. So you click on More, and you click on Google Forms. This takes you into this platform. So the first thing is to change the title. The title is going to be How Happy Are You? So that's the title of the survey that I created. I'm going to show you how I did that. Now the next thing is to go to my Google document, which you have created and worked on as your first step, and you've added all of your questions in there. So this would be the Google form as your second step. Here's my document. You can see the introduction is in here. I've got the questions in there, and all I'm going to do is just copy them and create the online form. The first step is to do the informed consent. This is where you're telling your audience about what the research is, and you're telling them who you are and that their answers are going to be anonymous and confidential. This is extremely important in ethical research. You also add the researchers' names and their email addresses. So that's the first step. Then you do add section. So in order to create a new section. The second section is going to be multiple choice questions. Basically, you give a title or Likert scales questions, whatever you want, and you can add the description. Please select the answer that you feel you agree the most with. Then I'm going to go back to my Word document. I'm going to see the first question that I have. The first question, I just highlight it, copy it, and I paste it under the first question. It's going to be a multiple choice question, so I need to click on the type of question, and then I just choose agree, strongly agree, undecided, and then disagree. Strongly disagree. I've got my questions. Now I need to create, based on the instructions, I need to create 10 Likert scale questions. I'll make it required, and then I'll duplicate that question so I don't have to keep on creating the same options over and over again. What I need to do is just go back to my Word document. I copy the second one. I highlight it, change it, and I keep the same format. And I keep doing that 10 times. I'll do one more. I'll highlight it, The reason why you had the Word document is for your team to collaborate on this part. Next, after I finish 10 questions, I'm going to add a section. The next section is short answers. These are open-ended answers. So in the description, you can say, please type down or write, you want whatever you want, write down your answers for the below questions. Right? Now, in order to create a question, you go to add a question. And the question is going to be, I've got more than 2. The minimum is 2. If you'd like to have more than 2, that's fine. So what makes you... So the first question is, what makes you happy in your life? Name at least 2 things and change just the question type to short answer. I have different description in here. Read the question, write the answers in the space provided. So I can copy that. I'll go here and change that to what I wanted. Now again, this is going to be a required question, and I'm going to duplicate it because I'm going to create one more question. Can create at least 2. I'm done with my short answer questions. I add a section, and then the last section is the demographic. Okay, for the demographics, it's basically I've got gender, age group, I've got monthly income, and a question specific to my research, which is about current levels of happiness. So in the question, I'll say, please help us understand the demographic details of who is answering the questions, for example. You can write whatever you want. Questions. All right. So I'm going to add, the first one is gender. So the gender is multiple choice. Gender. I've got male and female. I'm going to make that a required question. The next type of question that I have is age group, and it's also multiple choice. So I'm going to create the same thing. I'll just change it to age group. I'll change this to, what did I have, 16 to 20. The first one is 16 to 20. Second one is 21 to 25. And third one is above 25. All right, so again, it's a required question. The next question is also multiple choice, so it's the same thing, but what I'm going to do is the last question, which is basically the levels of happiness, and it's a scale. So I'm going to create, I'll duplicate this question, but you'll see I'm going to change it to a linear scale. So the question will be, on a scale of from 1 to 10, with 1 risk not happy at all, and 10 being the happiest I've been in my life. I'm going to put this. How happy would you rate your current levels of happiness? It's in here, as you can see, the linear scale has only 1 to 5, so I'm going to add it to 10. All right, so label, the first one is not happy at all. And the second one is happiest I've ever been. Okay, it's a required question. And that's it. So I'm done with my questionnaire. Now the next step is to change the theme. So I go to the color palette and I'm going to add a theme. Now choose a theme, a picture that represents the topic in a bit. It's about happiness, so I'm going to just choose some bright colors, something happy and bright. So far I don't see much. Maybe this one. I'm going to select that one. You can preview it. Takes a few seconds to load. This is how it looks like. Now this is very pinkish to me, so maybe doesn't look that good, especially if I'm going to give it to the men's college, so they might not really like it. Maybe bubbly. might be better for the students that I want, because if you are a bubbly character, means you're happy. Now, one thing I've noticed here, my form is untitled. So what I do is just double click on it and it will give the title that I have in here. You can preview your form and you can see how it looks like. To me, it looks good so far. I've got these questions. So for example, if I answer with whatever questions, it will move me to the next question. And then my short answers. So for example, family, work, and hobbies. Sometimes I've been happiest, now, and then next. Okay, gender female, I am above 25, scale of happiness, let's say this one, and then I'm going to submit my answers. Your responses have been recorded, and that's what they would get. Now, if I go back here, you can see responses. I've got one person, and it's creating this graphic for me. Once you have more people, you will have a nice kind of data tabulated, which you will collect for your report. You are still accepting responses, which is nice. And once after next week, you're going to stop accepting them. Once you're ready, you go to send, and you take the link. You can make it a shortened link, and you copy it and you send it to your study sample. You can embed it as well, but if you have a website or a blog or maybe any different accounts, you can embed the HTML and you can just copy it and embed it in there. Now for your collaborators, you go on this side and you can add collaborators the same way as you add anything else. This is the link. Now it's private to only me. I would usually give it to specific people if you want, but I give it to anyone with the link. They can add it and I can save it. And then I would just give them the link so they can work on it. Or you can add their email addresses in this space. And that's it. So I hope you find this tutorial useful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer your questions.